Well, hello everyone. I'm happy to be back with you again. This is Mrs. Green, and for today's lesson, we are going to create an owl. It's not going to be like your usual owl though, but let's look at one. Let's look at what one looks like. So we're going to put a little picture of an owl up here, and let's look at what shape are his eyes, what shape is its body, what shapes do you see in its beak? What shapes are you seeing in its wing? What kind of designs or patterns are you seeing in this owl? Let's take a moment and we'll look at all those little details. Oh, and what's on top of its head? What shapes are those? We're going to make our owl filled with patterns rather than feathers. And he's not going to look realistic. It's going to be more like what we would call abstract because we're making our owl out of pattern and design. And remember what patterns are, right? Patterns repeat. We worked with line patterns last time and color patterns. We're going to work with line and color patterns again, only this time you're going to do line and shape patterns. And the color patterns will also come in place. So your owl is going to be so colorful and so full of nice little patterns and designs. So let me show you how you're going to make your owl, what it's going to look like. And of course, you're going to make it your own, right? All right, so let me show you how we're going to do that. Okay, for this project, you're going to need a piece of paper and some crayons, some markers, some color pencils, whatever you have to make marks with. And we're going to start with the black, just like we've done before. You make your own coloring book page. And let's think back to our owl that we were looking at. Were his eyes small or were they big? They're kind of big, aren't they? That's one of the trademarks of an owl. And so we're going to start with, and you want to make them up towards the top, but not all the way at the top because you want to have room for those ears that we made. And we don't want a teeny tiny owl. We're going to make it like this big and about down here. So it's a little bit below the top. And I'm going to make a big circle. Big circle. And if they end up touching, that's even better, but you don't have to make them touch. And if they're not exactly the same size, we're not going to worry about that. Remember, this is more abstract. And then I'm going to do little circle for the pupils. And then thinking back to his beak, what shape did we see in the beak? Yes, it's a triangle. So I'm going to go triangle. So we went big circle, little circle. And now we have eyes and a beak. And then thinking back to his body was basically a oval. So I'm going to do a big oval that surrounds the entire thing. And we're going to go way down here, right? Because we're making his belly too. All the way back up again. Okay. And then remember those ears, they were triangle, triangle. Okay. And he has they have a little belly here. So we're going to do belly. So we're going to do half circle. And then for his feet, I'm going to do W, W. And they need to be sitting on something. So I'm going to draw a line here to make a branch. Okay, so he's sitting on a branch. He's perched there. And then his wings were half circle, half circle. And now we have little owlie. If you want to make one of his wings open, you can do that too. You're just going to draw a line across and then do a zigzag line below. So then he has a wing that's open. That's your choice. Now, each of these sections that we have now, I'm going to fill with a different pattern. So maybe for his eyes, I'm going to do, I'm going to do more circles. This is what we call concentric circles. They're going to get bigger and bigger. So now I have concentric circles. You can do whatever you want. Obviously make it your own. So that's a shape pattern. And then maybe in his beak, I'm going to do a line pattern, kind of like what we did before. So I'm going to do curvy line for his beak. Now he's hypnotizing you with his eyes. And you can go ahead and color the pupil in black if you want to. Or you can color whatever color you want. That's going to be the only place we're going to make it kind of realistic. I'm going to color in his, and I'm going to leave a little circle in the middle too, just give him a little light, and it also mimics our concentric circles. Okay, and remember we're doing our very, 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 very best coloring. All right, and this wing, maybe I'm going to do a zigzag line pattern. And I can do the same pattern in the other wing, or you can change it. It's up to you again. So I'm doing zigzag pattern. Okay, and maybe in his belly, I'm going to do a circle pattern. So he's got little spots. And you notice that when we were looking at the owl itself, their feathers create their own patterns. So it's kind of fun to change them up a little bit. Okay. Ooh, and then maybe I'm going to make a moon because owls come out at night, right? Moon. Okay. And then in his ears, I'm going to do little triangles. I'm going to do a triangle pattern in his ear. Kind of mimics the ear, but again, you can do a different pattern. Okay. Okay. And then I need to think of a pattern for his body. So I've done 2 shape patterns, or 3 shape patterns, right? Got triangle, circle, and then polka dots. And then I've done 2 line patterns. And I've done zigzag, and I've done curvy. So if I'm going to do another line pattern, because then I'll have 3 of each, I need to come up with a completely different line for that. Oh, maybe I'll do a wavy line. That's going to be my wavy line pattern. And I notice I'm skipping the eyes when I'm doing the pattern. So I start here, skip, finish here. Start here, skip, finish here. Start here, go all the way across. There, skip, finish it over here. You notice that just like when we were doing our landscapes, everything is attached. Everything is going together. Okay, here, here. We just start filling the sky with pattern. Now, if you want to fill the sky with a pattern, I'm not going to stop you. You could do like little stars. You could do little half moons, whatever you want to do. All right, so we have our owl filled with line and shape patterns. Now I'm going to do a color pattern. And we want to think about like maybe doing primary and secondary again. Do you guys remember what the primary colors were? Yes, red, yellow, and where is my blue? Oh, there my blue. Okay, so I have primaries here. And then, do you remember what this, and we get, depending on your crayon set or whatever set, you might have different values, which would be fun to play with too. So these are my primaries, and then remember the secondaries were purple, green, and orange. So I think I'm going to make his eyes blue and orange. So I'm going to color in that first line here, and we're going to do the same thing. We want to repeat those patterns. We want a nice colorful abstract owl. And remember, if you don't make the exact same shape, like this triangle is not the same as that triangle, it's okay as long as it's the same shape. Just do your very, very best. And if you do little oopsies like that, don't worry about it. We're just going to color over it. We'll just make it part of the piece. So, and you can do the opposite on the other. You can make the eyes match, or you can make them different. And you don't have to leave a little hole in the middle either. You can color that in as well if you'd like. Kind of gives it a little life though. And so I did blue, orange, now I need to do blue again. And you notice I'm following the same, so when I'm coloring a circle, I'm not coloring it back and forth like this. I'm following the circle. Makes it easier, and it also makes the lines look better. And remember, we want to do our most solid coloring. Super solid. Okay. And over here, I'm going to start with orange this time. So they're going to be the same color pattern, but I'm just switching it up. Because why not? You obviously can make your own choice with that. It's your artwork. Okay. So I'm going to finish my eye here. Okay, do that. And again, I'm not going to color this whole thing for you guys because you, again, do not want to just sit here and watch me color the whole time. You want to get to your own coloring. So I'm just going to show you a few little bits, and then we'll come back together after I'm done and you're done. Okay, so let me finish off this one. And again, following the contours of the circle. And you know, they're not exactly perfect. We're worrying about getting our best. Now, because I have blue and orange touching the outside, when I do my owl body, I don't want to use either one of those colors because we want them to be contrasted. We want them to be different. Let me see. And for his beak, maybe I'm going to do yellow and this light purple. So I'm going to do purple here. And I'm just going to end the beak right here between his eyes because that's about where they go. If you made them touch, then you don't have to think about that. But if you didn't, then you do that. So I'm going to do purple, yellow, purple. And we want them to repeat. It's really important. So just pick 2 colors for each one. For his body, if you want to do 3, that's fine, but just make sure they're contrasting with the rest of it. Okay. I think you guys get, I'll do one more, and then you guys are going to be on your own. So let me see. I'm going to do a red and green polka dot. I have green polka dots. And now I'm going in circles, right? I'm coloring it differently. And when I color the red, I'm not going to color scribble scrabble the red right over the top of the green. We want to take our time and work around it. This is you created this nice coloring book. Let's make it let's make it nice and pretty. And you can also, when we're done with the owl, we're going to color the tree. And you can make a pattern in the tree if you want to as well. And then the sky. Okay. So when I'm coloring my circle, when I'm coloring behind, I'm going to stop when I get to the circles, and I'm just going to go between them, see? We don't want to scribble scrabble over the top of those circles. You really want to make them nice and stand out. If you color over the top of them, because you're using a primary and a secondary, they might turn to black, gray, or brown. And I don't know if you want that in our colorful abstract owl. Okay, I'm almost done. See how I'm going around the circles? I'm changing directions a little bit, but I'm not being scribble scrabbly, right? I'm just going around them nicely, and now they stand out as nice green polka dots. And yes, we are going to do a pattern in his feet. I know I didn't do him with black, but maybe I'm going to do a yellow-orange stripe in his feet. So this one will be yellow, orange, yellow. And now this one is going to be yellow. And this side's going to be orange. And of course, you can make your own choices about how you're doing that. Okay, I noticed I have a little white spot here with my red, and we don't want any white spots, so I'm going to go get them and go white spot hunting. Okay, let me get those white spots. White spots. Okay. I wanted my green too, don't you see it? Okay, I'm gonna get that. Alright, I'm gonna carry on coloring this, but you guys don't need to sit here and watch me color the whole time. So now's your time to pause the video, make your owl, and then when you're finished with your owl, come back and see me. All right. Well, I hope you had a great time making your owl out of patterns, and I hope it's nice and colorful and you really enjoyed it. So now I want you to find somebody in your home and tell them, how is this different than doing the landscape one? How is it different than using shape and line? How does it change the owl to make it out of patterns instead of just like a regular owl? And then what are you going to do next? What are you going to make now? Anyway, happy art making, and I will see you next time. Stay safe.